All right, Dalton, our number 2 offensive lineman in college football heading into the 2024 season is Kelvin Banks Jr., the left tackle out of Texas who has been really good for the Longhorns in each of his first 2 seasons. What makes him so special in your opinion, though?
Three things. Athleticism. He's a big-time athlete at that position, man. You can just see it in his game. He can get anywhere he needs to with his feet anytime. Pass protection, technique. I don't think it's quite as good as Olu Fashanu from last year yet, but I think we could be talking about that type of prospect and a better run blocker than Fashanu. And then just he's got a mean streak, man. He's got a mean streak in the run game, and we've talked about he had 12 big time blocks last year, which are our highest graded blocks, second behind Talisi Fuaga, who was the nastiest blocker in the country. This guy's coming for you in the run game, man, especially in the zone game. If he gets his hands on you, his lower body strength is crazy, and he puts dudes on their back, man. He's just so nasty at left tackle. There's going to be NFL scouts who dream of something like Trent Williams when they see Kelvin Banks Jr. because of the balance, the pass pro technique, and just the sheer nasty in the run game, man. I'm telling you, if I was a linebacker and I saw him coming at me on the second level, I might retire because Banks is just coming to get you. He's working on the consistency, but he's athletic and he's nasty, and those are the 2 things you like to see out of any offensive lineman.
I knew he was special when his true freshman season. He was, first of all, a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, so I knew he was special already, Dalton, because of course I love that. But also as a true freshman, he played Alabama, I think in the second game of the season. Yeah, second game of the season, and he had reps against Will Anderson Jr. that I was like, who is this kid? And he was really good against Alabama, and he honestly was really good as a pass blocker in his true freshman year, and he was really good as a pass blocker this past year as well. Since 2022, he's only allowed pressure on 2.5% of his pass blocking snaps, which is second among returning Power 5 tackles. So he is such a good pass blocker, man. He was so good as a true freshman. 86.8 pass blocking grade this past season. Again, second among returning Power 5 tackles. 2.3% pressure rate allowed this past year. Again, second among returning Power 5 tackles. And he was the 6th most valuable tackle in the nation, according to our wins above average metric. So you mentioned the run blocking too. Inconsistent, but man, there are high highs on tape with Kelvin Banks Jr. So you could see the upside is there. It's not like he's just an outright bad run blocker. The upside is certainly there for him to be a really good one and a dominant one down the line. So what are the negatives, Dalton, with Kelvin Banks Jr. right now?
Yeah, I would say in pass protection, there's really not a whole lot. He's asked to do a lot on that team, and they're very spread out and all that. But I think it's what you said in the run game, man. It's inconsistent. He goes for the home runs, man. He goes for the kill, and what that comes with at times is some misses, right? Just taking the wrong angle or lunging, trying to kill somebody on the second level or something like that. His run blocking grades right now hover around a 70. Just because there is highs and there is lows, right? And once it's really more about raising the floor, right? Just not having as many whiffs in the run game, and you're going to see that run blocking grade just skyrocket, man. That's just kind of the way it works right now. It's kind of all or nothing at times, but I think coaches would rather teach the technique and kind of reel you in as opposed to trying to teach a guy to be aggressive, right? And Banks has all sorts of aggressive to him, sometimes over-aggressive, but I think there's a lot of coaches, and I know Sarkisian down there will live with that. I got Kelvin Banks. He's a monster. Let him rip, and we'll kind of bring the reins in as we go and just coach him up. But in pass protection, I don't see a whole lot wrong with him, honestly. He's so consistent. They throw the ball a ton. He only gave up 1 sack last year. He's darn near NFL ready in pass protection right now. He just needs to be more consistent in the run game.
I think some people, I've heard the comparisons to last year's class of, okay, the Will Campbell, Joe Alton this year's class is Will Campbell, the all-around really good player, and then the Olu Fashanu is Kelvin Banks Jr. I don't agree with that, though, because Banks is different from Fashanu, and that Fashanu is a run blocker. I think the aggressiveness needs to be improved and the technique. Banks is different, where I think the aggressiveness is there, man. You have the aggressive tendencies that you see in a guy like Tilly Safulanga, who was the only tackle in the country who had more big-time blocks than Kelvin Banks Jr. Just the technique and the over-aggressiveness at times is the problem with him. And, yeah, I mean, that really has been the problem with him his whole career. I mean, that last year he had a 37th percentile grade on gap runs and a 41st percentile grade on zone runs. But I think he's best in a zone run scheme. Probably he's a really good athlete. Tested out as a 86th percentile athlete in our game athleticism score metric, which measures how fast you are, how quick you are on field using GPS tracking. So 86th percentile is obviously really, really good. I just think you got to rein it in a little bit with Kelvin Banks Jr. as a run blocker, but he has really, really high highs there. And honestly, Dalton, I think he's got a higher ceiling than our number one guy, Will Campbell, who we'll talk about in another video. But yeah, Kelvin Banks Jr. absolutely could be a top 10 overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft, if not even higher than that. Truly, truly special left tackle protecting Quinn Ewers next year for Texas.